What is up, Waffle Gang? I do hope you are well. My name is Mark, and today we're covering some more r/am I the butthole. If you'd like to skip the initial waffle, timestamps are in the description and along the timeline below, but if you are new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe, and maybe, just maybe that notification bell too. And with that being said, let's crack on with today's stories. Much love, guys. Now, our first story comes from daughter piercings. Am I the arsehole for kicking out my daughter because she got pierced? Hi all, my 46 male daughter, 18 female, has been making reckless decisions and overall hasn't focused on school or anything important for the past few years. I've lashed out at her a few times but overall tolerated her behaviour because she is my daughter and I love her. However, she just never learns. Apparently, she got her nipples pierced on her 18th birthday, almost a year ago, without asking my wife or me, or without even mentioning something. My wife and I found out this morning when my wife accidentally saw them while our daughter was showering. We confronted her on lunch and told her that it was a very stupid thing to do. I told her I can accept piercings on the ears and maybe even on the nose, because they're somewhat pretty, but the ones on the nipples are ugly and overall dangerous to get due to infections. Oh god, I was struggling there. She's been like that for a while and even got tattoos when she was 17. Very small ones, without permission, because she told us if we didn't let them get there now, she would just get them when she is 18. I guess that once she turned 18, she's even more determined to mess with us and keep rebelling or whatever she's doing. She didn't say much during the whole argument, except tell us she knows the dangers that come with having these piercings, which I think is BS based on her reaction when I mentioned that. In the end, I told her that since she has no respect for me or my wife, when she graduates, which is in a year, she has to leave. My wife agreed with me, however my son, 13 male, says it's too harsh of a punishment. Am I the arsehole here? Edit, her mother saw the piercings because she needed something from the bathroom. My daughter handed it to her, and that is when my wife saw the piercings. Edit, I will not be responding to any more comments. This blew up overnight and I can't respond to everyone. Still, thank you for taking the time to reply. I will be logging off this account now. The funniest part of that story to me is when you get to the 13-year-old at the end, who's the logical one of the family, and you just think, oh god, not that the daughter isn't, but you know, the son comes round for the sister in the end. And I'm not sure what the legal age for tattoos and piercings is in the US. I'm assuming it's around 18, but in the UK it's very similar. And I remember getting my first tattoo at age 17. I didn't ask for permission for it either. If I want a tattoo, I was going to get a tattoo. I had my own mindset and I'm my own person, right? And that's exactly the same for your daughter. She was gonna rebel anyway if you turned her down. But bring it back down to reality, you're just controlling your daughter, which is the ultimate thing here, you know. She's got her own mind, it's her own body, she can do what she wants with it at her age, you know. And you're just going to push her away by doing what you're doing. Instead of sitting down and talking to her like a normal adult, you're threatening her with throwing her out. So it does make you the arsehole in this situation. But the mirror's truth says, you're the arsehole. Why is your wife walking on your adult daughter in the shower? Also, why are you obsessed with her body? Do you believe you own her or that she's an extension of yourself instead of being her own person? All piercings can get infections if you don't take care of them. She's old enough to know how to take care for them. And Galaxon Flux says, of course she didn't ask her parents if she could pierce her nipples. She's an adult and they're her nipples. You're the arsehole. Nipples. Why do I laugh at that? I'm so pathetic. The world is not quiet says, you're the arsehole. She didn't hurt anyone else. It's her body. A piercing isn't worth making your child homeless during a pandemic. Katarina702 says, it's amazing that the 13-year-old is the most rational thinker in the house. Try talking things out with your daughter when all of you aren't so upset. Try family counselling. Don't gang up on her. Actually listen to the conversation. Don't kick her out due to an emotional reaction and a power struggle. Good luck. You're the arsehole. And Scylla says, you're the arsehole. She was 18. She doesn't need to ask for her fucking parents' permission to pierce her nipples when she's 18. The fact that you even care is creepy as fuck to me. Why are you so obsessed with your teenage daughter's body? I suppose it's your house and your decision, but this is creepy and weird. And yeah, kicking someone out over piercings that you shouldn't be seeing is an arsehole move. Now, I'm going to turn it to you guys. What do you guys think of the situation? And is there a way around it, you know? Is there a way of talking the parents around after this? Have you ever had a similar experience where your parents didn't like your tattoos or your piercings? Let me know in the comments below. And our next story is from Short Substance. Am I the arsehole for buying my friend's childhood home? I've got a friend Kay that I've known since we were 5 and now we're in our mid-30s. We used to be close, but after uni he moved to the US for work, so we only talk occasionally. In fact, I see his parents more often than I see him. Because pre-pandemic, his dad would get the same train as me into London and sometimes we'd sit together. Anyway, me and my wife have a kid and would like one more at least, so we're looking to buy a house. We currently live in a 2-bedroom flat and it's getting small. We were looking at listings online when I came across my friend's childhood home. Turns out his parents were looking to downsize and were selling their house. Honestly, it was perfect for us. 5 bedrooms, garden space, close to the station. They'd even had a special line laid into their house for super high speed internet, something like 5 to 10 gigabytes download. Seeing this, I phoned up my friend's dad and asked him about the house. He was very open to the idea of selling to me, and even said he was glad it was staying in the family. Our families are also close. We dealt with each other directly without an estate agent, and therefore he was able to give me a nice discount. All that was in October, but my friend Kay has been livid ever since. He keeps saying how I'd bought his childhood and I was taking advantage of his parents by having paid them less. His sister, on the other hand, was happy for me on lieu of a housewarming party sent my family a framed picture of our 2 families from when we were about 10 or so. While I didn't do anything wrong legally, I feel I may have stepped on Kay's toes by now, living a space where he grew up. Now, I'll start off by saying this is a not the arsehole situation, but also I can also get some of those feelings that this person might have been having, And the reason I say this is the feelings that I've been having in the last couple of months or so, with my dad's situation, and he's not going to be with us a whole lot longer, and the place he's staying in right now is rented, but they've had that place all my brothers and my life, so we're talking lots and lots of years, and years before we was even born, right? So they've been there a very, very long time, and it's a place that we look to as our home still. And although we don't legally own it, the thought of it going to someone else and, potentially being trashed and all that sort of stuff, it might not happen, right? But these thoughts in my head, it does worry me, and it sort of does play in my head as well. But this person's definitely not the arsehole for buying that friend's house, especially if the son didn't want it in the end. If the son didn't want to buy it, then what's the issue, right? You should be glad it is staying within that family bubble, albeit friends or whatever. I think I'd be quite happy with that in the end. But Misplaced 80 Skid says, not the arsehole. As someone whose dad is about to put my childhood home on the market, I would love if one of my friends could buy it. It's getting sold regardless. The price that you and friend's father agreed upon must be fair, or else I doubt he would have sold. You'd think it'd be a bonus that friend could still visit his childhood home. And Nicholas Bage says, great name, while I can understand why Kay feels a little bit weird about it, you're not the arsehole. The nostalgia is no reason for you not to buy the house. Moreover, you didn't take advantage of his parents, since the discount you got was the money they now didn't have to pay the middlemen. I don't know what Kay's problem is, but it's not you. Jizzo O says, not the arsehole, obviously. Friend needs to grow the fuck up. If he felt that strongly about the house, he should have bought it himself. Also, it's just a house, not his actual childhood. And Miss Barney 5 says, not the arsehole, you didn't take advantage of his parents. Sometimes the less people involved, the better. Also, his father offered you a discount. You didn't ask for one. Maybe he's just really mad his parents moved from his childhood home. Some people are like that, but considering everyone else in this family is happy, you should be too. But Aqua Marinade says, no one's an arsehole here. You didn't do anything wrong morally, but I can't blame your friend for being weirded out about it. I'd probably feel the same if I were him. Now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. How would you feel in that situation if your childhood home was sold? Has it happened? Let us know in that comments below. And our next story comes from Fire Croix. Am I the arsehole for giving myself wacky haircuts rather than donate my hair before I lose it all to chemotherapy? I, mid-20s, am getting stem cell transplant next month. As part of that, I will receive radiation and chemotherapy. I will lose all of my hair, or enough of it that I'd want to shave the rest off anyway. I've decided to give myself a bunch of wacky haircuts in advance of the actual date. My hair is shoulder length, around 9 inches. I'm starting with pink bangs, moving to a bowl cut, mullet, rat tail, the Macklemore, buzz mohawk, and then finally bald. I'm looking forward to this project because it feels like I'm making the best of this chemo and stem cell transplant thing, which will be pretty fucking difficult. I was talking with a few friends yesterday about my plans, and one of them pipes up saying that'd be better if I donated it all to a place that makes wigs. You know the places, they make wigs for cancer survivors or other medically bold people, the ranks of whom I will soon be joining. She told me that because I'm relying on donors myself, stem cell donors, it's a moral imperative for me to pay it forward. I told her that I understand it would be helpful, but I want to do these haircuts for myself to keep me sane. She came back with, I'm glad that other people are more civilly minded than you are, and she's been sending me links to different hair donor sites yesterday and today. I might be the arsehole because yeah, I certainly could donate my hair. It is long enough for certain donation places, and it might be selfish of me to have it go to waste, so to speak. Am I the arsehole for giving myself wacky haircuts rather than donate my hair before I lose it all to chemotherapy? Edit, a lot of you all pointed out that I should tell my friend to donate her hair. I would, except she has a pixie cut, so no dice there. Plus, I generally try to not tell people when they should or shouldn't do with their bodies. And your friend should take that advice too, I think. Edit, thanks everyone for the well wishes and messages of encouragement. I've got a good group of docs and family to support me in the coming months. This interaction was just nagging at me. I'm not even going to check if my hair is long enough to donate because I've got a date with some scissors and hair dye. And last edit, last one, I promise. I love this community dearly, and your comments have really made me feel good about myself and my journey, and have gotten me teary-eyed. To all those who are donating hair on my behalf, thank you dearly. And if you see a person walking down the street with a neon green mullet and a goofy grin, give them a nice wave. Oh, the bit that got me early on in the story when she said a bowl cut, I thought, yes, rocking the bowl, bring that back. And totally unrelated, I was watching a YouTube video the other day of a kickboxer with a bowl haircut, and they're a badass, believe me. And this guy is just like so confident, and you think if someone's that confident to rock a bowl cut, you don't mess with that person. I know that's totally unrelated to the story, but anyway, yes, this person should not be telling you, dictating to you what you should be doing with your hair. You know, you said this is for your mental health, this will make you feel good, and you just want to make the most of it while you've still got it, you know. So absolutely, you do you, and I hope your journey with chemotherapy, radiation, and stem cell goes as well as it can. When my dad started chemotherapy and we thought, you know, there's potential that he might lose his hair, he didn't. But we used to joke about, like, because the dog used to get clipped every month, you know, and all the hair used to be on the floor, and there's a whole lot of hair. We was talking about making a wig for him out of that. Or like buying him a Bob Ross wig, just going totally the other way. He had quite short hair before, so getting this massive wig, it's good time, man. And I'm not joking, my dad was all for it. I'd have loved to seen it, but as I said, he didn't lose his hair, which is good in the end, right? But JLCL says, not the arsehole, what the fuck is wrong with your friend? Those hair donations are great when they're legitimate, and your friend suggesting it was fine. But there's zero wrong with you wanting to have a good time with your hair while you can. If she's so concerned, she's free to donate her own hair. And morally applicable says, not the arsehole, you're going through a really difficult medical journey and losing your hair because of it. Psychologically, our hair is really tied to our identities as women, and losing it can have really negative effects on our psyche. How you choose to embrace that is entirely up to you, and if you want to get cool, funky haircuts to transition, that is entirely your choice, and any friends of yours should be supportive. Your friend is a huge arsehole for trying to guilt trip you into making this transition harder on yourself, and then trying to force you into it after you didn't respond to her guilting without the response she wanted. She's never experienced what you're experiencing. Who the fuck does she think she is to pass judgment rather than supporting you? Also, your hair needs to be at least 8 to 10 inches and virgin for every hair donation I've ever heard of. And Wickedest says, not the arsehole, and quotes, she came back with, I'm glad that other people are more civically minded than you are. And she's been sending me links to different hair donor sites yesterday and today. And then says, I'd have some choice words for this friend of yours, but due to the be civil rule, I'll keep them to myself. The fucking audacity. Now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys think of this situation? God, who needs a friend like that, right, when you're going through something like that? Gee whiz. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And our next story comes from Manson's Chick. Am I the arsehole for refusing to give my dead husband's medical records to his mum? My husband was sick with a tumour disorder in his youth, went into remission for a few years, and then it came back in 2013, eventually leading to his death October 2019. His mum was there for him the whole time and supported him until the bitter end. I, 32 female, started dating my husband, 34 male, in 2012, and we eventually married in September 2019. I was by his side the entire time, and we did not live together at all, as we agreed to wait until we were married. The whole experience was very traumatic and horrible for everyone. After he died, we had to go to the funeral and get everything settled. Because I am his next of kin, I had to approve everything and ask for his family's input a lot. Because they always wait until the very last moment on everything, I was accused of trying to prevent them from being involved, while I was also trying to meet deadlines and make sure he was being honoured in the very best way possible. I tried to stay in touch with them, but after the beginning of December 2019, they pretty much stopped talking to me. Naively, I still tried to keep them in the loop, and as a result received many unpleasant text messages from his mother, with claims from everything that my family and I caused his death, to saying we weren't married because we hadn't consummated our marriage. I stopped reaching out, and in early March received a request to release his medical records to his mum. The reason was to help her grieve. I respectfully declined, as I don't feel it's my place, nor is it appropriate for me to release his medical records so his mum can look through them. I don't know what's in there. If there are notes about things he said about me or his mum or anyone else that don't really need to be out in the world. I also suggested that she talk to a professional, the same as my husband had asked her to do before he died. I didn't hear anything more about it until a week of Thanksgiving 2020, when I received a notice that she was trying to have herself appointed as his personal representative, by claiming that we were not legally married. It was shocking to receive, and obviously I objected her claims. So, am I the arsehole for refusing to give her his medical records? And then there was a request for some backstory, which says, edits, someone mentioned needing some backstory, so here you go. His tumours grew rapidly on his back, and they used everything they could to combat it. In 2015, he underwent a surgery to help slow the growth, which just pissed it off and caused it to grow again more quickly. In 2016, he had the entire tumour removed, 30 plus pounds, and was in the hospital from the end of June until mid-November. I visited him all but 2 days he was in the hospital, the day before and the day of my brother's wedding. He had upwards of 19 surgeries in that time to get everything under control. During these surgeries, his mum was there as often as she could be, and I was there as often as I could be as well. She often would tell me I was the guardian angel for their family because I helped keep everything moving and everyone informed. We had a good relationship, and I was looking forward to a better relationship. He never fully healed from that, and the tumours began to grow aggressively again. In 2018, we decided to just live our lives and went on some trips around the country, and he proposed. I told him I just wanted to elope, but he told me his mum would be offended if we didn't have the big wedding and invite everyone from the US and Kenya, where his parents are from. So I bit the bullet, decided a budget, and began planning a bash to try and include him and his mum as much as possible. In May 2019, the tumours began to pick up speed, and a switch flipped with his mum, where she started telling him to call off the wedding, and she even went as far as to visit my parents and tell them that we needed to stop and put off getting married. My parents never even told me about it until after he died. At the same time, he was asking me if we could just elope and be married and have done with it. I said no, since we already sent the invitations, but offered to move in to take over some of his care that his mum had been doing and help remove some of the pressure and stress from her. We got married while he was admitted to the hospital, and until I saw her sit in the audience, I did not think she would even come. After that, I stayed every night with him until he died. At no point I did think that he was at risk of death, or I would have done things differently and eloped when he asked. Edit 2, I do have a lawyer and all contact has been ceased. Also, his mum does have a history of looking for someone to sue, even trying to hunt down the doctor he saw in his youth to try and sue him for the course the disease took. And as always, if OP does get to see this, I'm so sorry for your loss. I can't imagine what you've been going through. It does sound like it was a very traumatic time to be going through. God, man. And with the trying to get hold of the medical records, what was she trying to achieve with the edit as well? And you said that she likes to sue people. Is that what she's going to do, is go through all the medical records and try to find someone to sue? That's what it kind of sounded like. I might be totally wrong and just reaching out there, but I totally understand where you're coming from in this, and that you don't want to hand over those medical records. That's totally up to you. You are his partner, so absolutely. But YMMV says, not the arsehole, the whole family has treated you very poorly. In light of the fact that she has started a legal action that affects you, I would only communicate with her via my attorney. I would not give her access to medical records or anything else that she might use in her case against me. You can think about it again after legal action is settled. And Rhino Vodka says, not the arsehole, I am sorry for your loss. You may want to contact a lawyer and seek advice. Maybe his mother is trying to see if there is a lawsuit. Better to cease contact than engage. And Disheveled Upstanding says, not the arsehole. She was an arsehat to you, blaming you for his death and mocking the validity of your marriage. And now she expects you to accede to her requests? Nah, fuck her. She should have thought about that before she said those nasty things to you. A Maleficent Message says, not the arsehole. I don't even understand why anyone would want to look through medical records way after someone's death. Is there a medical concern which other family members could have? If not, I wouldn't agree, since she hasn't been very pleasant to you, and it's probably just a ploy to blame the death on you. And that is one good point, actually, that needs to be raised. If there was something sort of genetic, then maybe passing the medical records on, maybe something, if it's something genetic that could be within the family. But other than that, not the arsehole, I think. And Purple Flavoured Cherry says, not the arsehole, you've been through a lot, and based on your other comments, I 100% believe that she's going to use the medical history to try and hunt down other people to blame. Her behaviour towards you is disgustingly abhorrent, and she should be ashamed of herself to then turn around and make such a request. The fact that she thinks she has a chance in court without argument is laughable. I get that grief makes people behave strangely, but there is no excuse for this. There has to be a line drawn somewhere. If you don't think it would be appropriate to release them to her, then stand your ground. I firmly believe that you're doing the best you can. I'm very sorry for your loss, OP. Best of luck in the future. Now, what would you do in this situation? Would you release that medical history to the mother or not? Let us know in the comments below. And once again, guys, thank you for being here today. I hope you have enjoyed today's stories. It's been mind-blowing, your support. As always, it's incredible what you do. So thank you so much. And keep doing it, of course. And, and I will see you in the next one. Much love, guys, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.